What's up, everybody? Welcome. Happy Monday. It's what, the third Monday of 2026. We are back on the Kristian Harloff Show. Now, don't adjust your sets. I am not Kristian Harloff. He is in a plane right now, flying back from Los Angeles. Boop, boop, boop. Fancy schmancy. Heading back to New York to hang out there in those parts. So I am holding down the fort today, but not alone. Wednesday, A. Marshall will be joining me, my co-host on Spill the Tequila, the king of swag himself, the main blurred in my world. And we're going to bring him on in just a second. We got so much to talk about here. The Golden Globes, the Black Panther situation, the X-Men stuff, so much happening that we're going to discuss here on the show. So let's not waste time. Let's jump into things here on the Kristian Harloff Show on this Monday morning, January 12th on YouTube. What's up, everybody? My OCD is kicking in. I just want to make sure I am evenly placed. Oh, damn it. That's what you get when you get a ball camera. But anyway, I am here. I am here to co-host the show today for Kristian Harloff. As I said, if you just missed the intro, he is watching on a plane right now. I wonder if he's in the coach or it's probably first class, right? He's probably drinking some wine, sitting in the aisle seat, first class, putting his legs up. You know how he rolls. But I'm here doing the grunt work here, and I'm not alone today because it's always better when there's a co-host, and I always have a blast whenever I do anything, whether it's hosting a show, talking some crazy sports stuff, or even battling on the Schmodown stage in a live show. The best around, one of the best guys around. Joining me today, Winston A. Marshall. How are you, Winston?
Cry, Eagles, cry. On the road to misery. Gang, bang, bang, Niner gang. Shut them birds up permanently. Boom, baby. I am elated because the Niners whooped up on that ass. And every single person that denied, I told you they were not a good team. And they proved that shit yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So nothing can go wrong on this beautiful Monday morning. Nothing.
It was a hell of a game last night. I think all the games were pretty close, although the worst of the weekend was definitely Patriots and Chargers, and we'll see about tonight with Texans and Steelers. But that Eagles game, everything they have been saying, all the analysts have been saying for weeks, finally came to visit them. The idea that they are just not inventive with their play calling. Jalen Hurts is a suspect quarterback. Even Saquon didn't acquit himself well, and AJ had some key drops. So, yeah, this was clearly the Eagles didn't feel fully like they were ready to go and defend their Super Bowl title because they let San Francisco march in, lose George Kittle, and win the game, for God's sake.
Right. They didn't have nobody, and they still won the game. And I will say this much, and I know this isn't a sports show, so we can talk about this on Spill the Tequila tomorrow. 4 p.m. Pacific time over on the John Roca channel. Don't miss that. But I obviously the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I was a fan of the Niners for exactly one game, and now I fully expect that the NFC Championship game will be Rams Seahawks. So I expect the Seahawks to send that injured ass Niner gang back to the radioactive den that is their Levi Stadium, because you've seen the
I did.
This idea that apparently their whole thing, their practice facility, their stadium is built next to a giant power station. And everybody was like, yeah, it might be screwing up the ligaments. That might be why everybody's hurt. And as I'm rereading this for another time, Kittle tears his Achilles. So I'm just like, So I'm here for the Hawks, man. I'm here for the Rams. When it comes down to it, I gotta pull for the Hawks because my fiance is a diehard Seahawks fan. So
we'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun.
Happens.
It's gonna be fun for sure. Yeah, I tried to get Kristian to host the Schmodown near a power plant so I could get an advantage, but he refused to do it. So
all that's gonna do is make the leader out of Dan Murrell, and you would have lost forever going forward, bro.
We should do that one day. Someone should do the artwork of all the Batman villains, or all the villains rather. Who would they all become? Because I feel like Ethan would be either the Penguin or Egghead, one of those two. Maybe the Mad Hatter. Maybe the Mad Hatter. But certainly Dan is the leader. That makes all the sense in the world. That makes all
Dude,
the sense.
I don't know why. It instantly went to, yeah, I feel like he would have.
Yeah.
Now, I need everybody to understand something. Someone being like, not him from Texas, and you switch it up and all that stuff. I am not a Niners fan. I am not a Seahawks fan. I'm not a Rams fan. I am a Cowboys fan. But as a Cowboys fan, I have hated enemies everywhere. So the first team that needed to go down was the Eagles, and they did. The next team that needs to go down is the 49ers, and I expect the Seahawks to do that. The next team that needs to go down after that, between the Rams from the city that I live in and then the Seahawks, the team that my fiance roots for, I'm fine with either one, but I'm going to lean to the ones for my fiance. So it is what it is. And yeah, someone saying the Cowboys got Cancun ready for the birds. I love that. Come on down and join us, losers. You're also not going to be the champions this year. So cool. You hung out for an extra week. You really feel good about yourself? Is that what it is? You were here for another week just so people can be reminded once again, like 2023, y'all some scrubs. Y'all weren't actually good. Last year, you were good. This year, you were dog shit. So come at me, bruh.
There you go. All right, we got all that out of our system. And if you want to hear more of us going into the NFL playoffs, stuff like that, tomorrow night, 4 p.m. PT on Spill the Tequila on my channel. This is the Kristian Harloff Show. And already Daddy's upset there in the plane sending comments in the chat.
I see you there.
We see that, but we're hosting a show.
You wanted to fly on a plane, Mr. Fancy Pants. That's who fault that is.
Well, let's get into things, man, because we don't want to make him too mad. But let's get into stuff that's going on here with the world of entertainment. What is going on here? What's this all about? Oh, let me take that down. With Black Panther. Let's get into the Black Panther stuff here, Winston. Let's talk about it. After many months. This is coming to us from GamesRadar.com. They're written by Megan Garside. Hope I'm saying that right, Megan. No offense there. After many months of radio silence, Black Panther 3 has finally received an update, and it looks like work will be starting on the Marvel Phase 6 movie very soon. According to a new listing on Film and Television Industry Alliance, Black Panther 3 is due to start shooting in London on June 15th of 2026. What's that, like 4 or 5 months from now? The sequel still does not have an official release date, but if cameras are due to start rolling this summer, it will only be a matter of time until we find out when the Marvel project is due to hit screens. The document also states that the third installment will be titled Shadows of Wakanda and will explore Wakanda's vulnerability after T'Challa's death, with Shuri stepping up as both warrior and leader. This means the star Letitia Wright will return as Shuri. We already had an inkling that T'Challa's sister Shuri would lead the third movie following the passing of her brother and mother. Wakanda Forever saw Shuri shake up the mantle and become the new Black Panther. The new plotline also all but confirms that Shuri will survive the events of Avengers Doomsday, which will premiere this December, and Secret Wars arriving a year later. That is if Black Panther 3 does indeed take place after Avengers 6. The news also comes at the same time as F1 star Damson Idris addressed rumors of him taking over as Black Panther. In an interview with Variety, Idris said, I'm, quote, thankful to the fans. Of course, it's rumors, but I love that movie. I love the world. Although Shuri is leading this one, we could see Idris join the franchise in the future, perhaps as an older version of T'Challa's son, who he met in the Black Panther 2 post-credit scenes. Of course, the only actor confirmed at the moment is Denzel Washington, who would take on a new role written for him by director Ryan Coogler, who won last night at the Golden Globes. We expect to see Denai Guerrero return as Okoye, as well as Michaela Cole-Zaneka and Florence Kasumba's Ayo. Assuming he makes it out of Doomsday alive, there's a high likelihood that Winston Duke will return as M'Baku. I sure fucking hope so. That's my favorite character. Winston, your thoughts on this as you hear this? Anything new, anything that strikes you as like fascinating to discuss? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know how I feel about this not recentering around T'Challa. I don't have a problem with Shuri ruling. There are people that straight out of just misogynoir is just like, I'm not one of those, but I am somebody. The one thing I always said is I was cool with T'Challa not being at the center of that second movie because of the unfortunate passing of Chadwick.
Yeah.
For that second movie. If we really get into this third movie and we have not brought T'Challa in, I am gonna have a really big problem with that. That's not chill. at all. Like
Yeah.
whether it be the son grown up because of time travel or whatever the hell, or an alternate version or whatever, I'm not okay with that. And so that kind of worries
Yeah.
me a little bit to hear that Shuri is once again at the center of it all.
Yeah.
With no rumor of necessarily that, you know, the mantle is being passed or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know when and where they want to try and do that. I don't know if like this report is coming out because it's like, oh, well, we meet what T'Challa will be in Doomsday / Secret Wars. So, you know, yes, it's centered around Shuri, and it's like Shuri teaching T'Challa how to become this new T'Challa, how to be king or something. I don't know, but like I just if that's truly what we're doing of just I'm not liking it. That is not something that
Yeah.
I'm about really.
I got a lot of complex feelings on this one because I like Letitia Wright as an actress, but then I've also got to be realistic and say that she wasn't the greatest lead in Wakanda Forever. And I think the film suffers a little bit. I don't go back and watch Wakanda Forever. I think she's not as strong leading that film as you would like to see an act like Zoe Saldana can lead films like Tandy. If you're looking at the actresses that kind of are in the similar range or look as her, and I just don't see necessarily that she's got that kind of energy. Damn good actress. Again, doesn't have the kind of, so the idea of going forward with her, I think is a bit controversial for people who are maybe not the biggest fan of Wakanda Forever. That being said, though, Ryan Coogler is not someone who listens to everybody else. Ryan is going to do what he's going to do. He's got a very distinct story he wants to tell. He had to adjust for Chadwick Boseman's passing, and this is where he's going. But I do think she's going to start out this way, but I do think he's going to bring a Black Panther. And like you've said, Winston, the drum beats of people who want to see T'Challa again in the Marvel Universe is very loud. They love Shuri. Certainly, they like Shuri, at least, and they like her as a character, but it's T'Challa who is the Black Panther. And I think to ignore that consistently is going to be a detriment. So what is the path forward? Is it Damson Idris? Is he an alternate T'Challa from another universe who comes in and is stuck here and has to assume the mantle? Or is, as you said, is it the son grown up, whatever they're going to do here? But something is going to be a part of it. And Winston, we know for the first few trailers, the idea of fathers and sons is coming back to the MCU in a massive way. So the son of T'Challa coming in, being Damson Idris, makes a lot of sense if somehow he is of adult age to be able to take over the mantle. So it's a curious approach, but I don't necessarily think Ryan is just going all in on Shuri. I think this is a setup to set up Black Panther, a new
because where that doesn't make sense is, again, I don't have a problem with Shuri at the as the leader. I don't have a problem with all of that at all. If anything, I was the one that, if you can, I've said it multiple times, my idea for what Wakanda Forever was, you can keep the movie the same how it was, but you have a cold open at the beginning where Black Panther suited up. He's in some sort of fight. He's doing whatever. And Shuri's the woman in the chair, like the support she did when they were in like Korea and all that kind of stuff. Oh, brother, go left, go right, like whatever. Something goes wrong, and she's just like, brother, are you there, brother? And then like cries out. You start to get the Marvel Studios thing, and then you play the movie the rest of the way that the movie played. And then for the post credit, instead of a son, you have Shuri finally accepting that she's queen. She's sitting on the throne. She's tired. She looks up, and you just see an over the shoulder of a pretty torn up habit. Yeah. And you just see her look up and go, brother, and then cut to black. And then you can, in the next movie, I got sucked into a portal. I got whatever it happened where he was gone. So you still respect the legacy of Chadwick that and the people making the movie, because that was family. They literally have said multiple times, that was my brother, that was my nephew, that like it devastated them. So you allow for the legacy of T'Challa to be of Chadwick as T'Challa to have that send off, and you tell that story, and then you come back in the next movie of here's what happened to me. And if that was in Secret Wars, he'd already gotten put in an incursion or something like that, or he got pulled away to help. It doesn't matter. You would have figured it out. And so I have always been a main proponent of this, because while Shuri's stories as the Queen of Wakanda, as the Black Panther, are very good. And I thought that it was very important for little black girls to be able to have that same feeling
Oh,
that
sure.
little black boys did, to see that. I thought that that was paramount.
Yeah.
I also know that Wakanda lives and breathes through T'Challa. Those
Mhm.
stories throughout are because of T'Challa. It doesn't mean that the rest of the world isn't important, but it's kind
Right.
of the same way of like, I love Miles Morales. You can't just do Miles Morales as Spider-Man. At some point, you needed a Peter. If you eventually move on, sure, but at some point, you would still need to bring him back, because even when Peter died in Miles's universe when he was first introduced,
Yeah.
ultimately he got pulled out of the Ultimate Universe and put in the main 616 universe,
Right.
and Peter and Miles are both there. So
Yeah.
you need T'Challa because of the vast majority of the stories that have been told of this character, of this nation, is T'Challa. So I genuinely would have a problem if they're not going to find a way to bring him back. And I believe they will.
Yeah.
But this just report of how they're starting to film and it's supposed to be centered around Shuri already makes me uneven and like a little uneasy.
Yeah. And I totally hear that. And I wonder what the logic is here, right? Because if you're starting to shoot in June and Doomsday hasn't even come out, if you think you're going to keep the leaks of what you're doing on that set away from people, that if Damson Idris isn't spotted on that set, or what I'm saying, listen, I am scoop adjacent with Jeff Snyder on the hot mic, so I know that shit leaks all the time. I know that stuff comes out before we can even say it. Sometimes I hear things, sometimes months in advance before it's announced or said or whatever. And so there is, a lot of people talk. So the idea that you're going to be able to shoot Black Panther 3 in June and somehow you're not going to be found out and give away that it's going to be Damson Idris coming back as Black Panther, I think is going to be real difficult to do, especially, as I said, Doomsday won't have even come out. So you might already have that storyline laid out before you even go see Doomsday. You may already have that in your mind before you go even say Doomsday. So what I think if he does go this route with Shuri and Black Panther 3, it may be his way of like wrapping everything up from that original trilogy.
Sure.
And then after Secret Wars, he's going to do a new Black Panther, because Secret Wars is where we're going to see Damson Idris as Black Panther, and that will spark a new trilogy.
Right.
Will Ryan stay on to direct them? I don't know, but he will definitely EP them. So the question becomes like, is this just wrapping up stuff from before and also touching on Doomsday, touching on Secret Wars, kind of setting it up so that when this new T'Challa comes in, he will be the T'Challa going forward. And Winston, that gives them more time chronologically in our minds, like it'll be like almost 10 years by the time we see Secret Wars. So we can go in our minds, oh, he has grown up. Maybe he's the son of T'Challa. So
Yeah.
I just think there's things they can play around. So I think that's what might be happening here, is they just wrapping up the storylines and then setting the groundwork for T'Challa to return.
I certainly hope so, because I mean, there's so many things that we haven't gotten a chance to see yet. I mean, the fact that we're finally bringing the X-Men into the fold, like we haven't seen T'Challa and Storm have their opportunity together. We haven't really we really didn't get a full Illuminati. Like that whole thing is super interesting. The fact that they're calling it the Shadows of Wakanda, I'm curious if they're going to tap into the fact that T'Challa actually is the king of the dead and is able to summon all the previous Panthers, like their knowledge and straight, like that's one of the reasons why a lot of times he actually is able to whoop like Cap's butt and other people that are equivalent to him as far as strength and all that, is because he is similar to the Avatar. For those that are Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, he is able to, as we saw T'Challa talking to his dad in the other plane. We saw Shuri talk to her cousin in the other plane, technically a previous Black Panther as well. So he has the ability to not only control the army of the dead at times, he has the ability to tap into their battle prowess and their knowledge and on their skill sets and all that kind of stuff. So there is a lot to really be explored as far as all that stuff goes. And again, I'm not saying that Shuri can't keep suiting up and everything else like that, but there are so many T'Challa stories we haven't done that are just paramount to that world. That is where I just need them to hopefully get there. And if that's what it is, if this is just kind of closing this out and it's a passing the mantle film or something like that, sure. Just what we read is why I'm nervous. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at some of the breakdowns here for Shadows of Wakanda, there's not a storyline that Shadows of Wakanda and Black Panther, but it does, as Winston was referencing here, hint at Wakandan history, mysticism, internal threats like the Shadow King, and the mystical shadow physics from the comics. And when you look at that, shadow physics is an advanced Wakandan science / mysticism that T'Challa pioneered in the comics, allowing multiverse access and connecting to past Black Panthers. Shadow King is a powerful psychic villain from the X-Men comics with possible African Wakandan connections. Could that be Denzel? Ancient Wakandan lore, exploring forgotten histories, war traditions, and potential conflicts with exiled groups like the Akungu. So, yeah, there's a lot of places they can go that'll distract you from the fact that you're not getting a full Black Panther. If you put Denzel as the main villain and he's the Shadow King, that's fucking awesome. And you have M'Baku and Okoye and Shuri and all of them lining up. And is this, if you're dealing with the dead, is this how you bring back T'Chaka or Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda, or, or even, I guess you can't do AI. You don't want to do that with Chadwick Boseman, but you could have possibly done that with Chadwick.
The fastest way to end up pissing people off is if you try and go Tupac hologram, Michael Jackson hologram, like T'Challa, like Chadwick AI. Good Lord. You would start a shitstorm.
And Luke, mentioning in the chat, tells us that we actually have seen the Shadow King in the Legion show, which is that show that was on FX, led by Dan Stevens, led there. So, I mean, a lot of people want him to show up in Secret Wars as connecting all the X-Men kind of connections through the whole thing. So we'll see. It could be possible for sure. So. All right. Well, let us know what you think about this. What do you want to see in Black Panther 3? What do you think is going to happen here? Do you like the Shuri approach? Do you buy this possible log line? Do you like the title? Do you like where it might be going? As Winston reference to the Shadow King and the mysticism of the side of Wakanda? And Luke, stop it. And will you be excited to see what's coming next for Black Panther 3 for Ryan Coogler? And do you want to see T'Challa in Black Panther 3, or do you want to see them finish stuff out and then lead to another trilogy after Secret Wars? Let us know down in the comments section. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get into some ads here that keeps the show afloat. So pay attention, listen, and make sure you get some comments on this whole thing, and sign up there using the code from the Kristian Harloff Show. So let's get into that now. Right?
You guys know how much I love my coffee. You guys know how much I love my trade coffee. And I'll tell you, if you haven't done it right, now is the time. If you want to upgrade your morning routine, you have to start with your coffee. Trade turns your daily cup into a moment of discovery. What it does is it pairs you with fresh roasts from the country's best local roasters, tailored to exactly what you love. It's a tiny monthly surprise that you look forward to every month. That is fact. I love saying, you know what, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to go with a dark roast here today. And the next thing you know, I'm waiting by my door, and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see, because I'm always satisfied. I love Trade. Well, what is Trade, Kristian? I haven't heard you talk about them. Of course you have. Or you're brand new, because I've been talking about them forever. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. Their team of expert baristas, tasters, Q-graders use real coffee knowledge to match you with coffees that you love. They curate over 500 coffees, so you can try something new with every delivery. Do it for the smell alone. Your house is going to smell wonderful. Each bag is roasted to order and delivered fresh to your door at prices comparable to grocery brands, but with cafe-level quality in every cup. You take Trade's quiz. They find you a perfect match. If your first bag isn't quite to your liking, they're going to replace it for free as part of their first bag guarantee policy. I love it. I've been really digging the dark roast lately, but I like the different variety. I always try something new. I try to switch it up, and that's what I love about Trade. Right now, Trade is offering 50% off a 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Kristian. That's drinktrade.com/Kristian. Get 50% off 1 month. Drinktrade.com/Kristian. Please try Trade if you haven't done it, or renew your subscription. It is the best. You guys know how much I love Trade. Factor. How many times have I talked about Factor? Why do I talk about them so much? Because I love them. New year, big goals. And you got no time to cook. Well, that's why Factor is the best. They make it so easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians, crafted by chefs. You can eat well without the shopping or cooking. I love that there's so much quality to it. It's lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, healthy fats. That's what I love about it. You guys know that the last year, it's been a health journey for me, and I got to find the right things to eat. And for me, Factor fits my goals. I can eat healthy. I can manage my calories. There's more protein. It's the best. There's over 100 rotating weekly meals. Just choosing through them, it's so much fun. Mouth-watering, to be honest. Plus, there's a new Muscle Pro collection, which supports strength and recovery. It's always fresh, never frozen, ready in about 2 minutes. There's no prep. There's no stress. It is the best. I love it. You guys know, I've been talking about it forever. Listen, I was eating Factor even before I was trying to stay healthy. And now, man, I was one step ahead. Head on over to factormeals.com/Christian50 off. Use that code Christian50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. I love breakfast. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor.
Get on there, people. Get on Factor. Get on Trade Coffee. You know, Christian never stops talking about how much he loves Trade Coffee, and you all should try it out. Use that code. And definitely Factor. Listen, everyone, it's January. Everyone's getting back in shape, right? You're committing to it. Take it from me, someone who lost 40 to 45 pounds, depending on the day I weigh over the last few months. Changing the diet was everything. Finding easy ways to do that, committing to it. It's not easy in terms of committing to it, but once you do, it's great to have something like Factor to help you out. You don't have to think about making the food. You order it, it's there, heat it up, and you're good to go. So just a quick endorsement on my end. I get no money off Factor, but I'm endorsing it because I know that has helped me in the past as well when you're on the run. We all have those issues, and trust me, it's worth it in the end for you all to get that. All right, let's bring Winston back into this situation here. Winston, how's it going, buddy boy? Let's jump into some stuff going on here. And remember, everybody, we only have 10 super chats right now. Send in your super chats. Send in your love. As I've said before, sending in super chats is good for me and Winston, of course, to answer your questions, thoughts, and comments. But you're also helping the show. You're helping Kristian Harloff. This is the Kristian Harloff channel. So sending in the super chats is a way of supporting Kristian Harloff as well. He's got the pilot. He's going to go have a meeting on. That's why he's in the plane right now. So this is a way you can support the show by doing that. And speaking of support, Winston, we got some support for movies. The Golden Globes happened last night. They were handed out at the Beverly Hilton, and one battle after another was the top winner, snagging 4 honors, including Best Picture, Best Supporting Actress for Tiana Taylor, which was a bit of a surprise on my end, and Writing and Directing honors for Paul Thomas Anderson. Sinners, The Secret Agent, Hamnet, and K-Pop Demon Hunters each walked away with 2 honors. Single award winners included If I Had Legs to Kick, I'd Kick You, which is Rose Byrne winning for that, Marty Supreme, Timothy Chalamet, and Sentimental Value. Titles like Begonia, Frankenstein, Wicked for Good, F1, No Other Choice, It Was Just an Accident, Train Dreams, Jay Kelly, Blue Moon, and Weapons got squadoosh, got nothing on the TV front. It was something of an Emmys repeat. You get nothing. With The Pit dominating drama, studio dominating comedy, and adolescence dominating limited series categories. Let's see, the actress categories differ through with Pluribus. Yeah, great to see Ray Seahorn win for Pluribus. Gene Smart won for Hacks, and Dying for Sex took honors as well. Best Motion Picture Drama, Hamnet won here over Frankenstein. It was Just an Accident, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. And then one battle, of course, as we said, for Best Musical or Comedy over Blue Moon, Begonia, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, and Nouvelle Vague. K-Pop Demon Hunters wins Best Motion Picture Animated, and Cinematic at Box Office Achievement went to Sinners, which is interesting. And then Secret Agent won Best Motion Picture. So what do you want to say about it? Anything surprise you? Anything stand out to you from these awards, from these situations?
A couple things, to be honest with you. I mean, the first, I love Tiana Taylor. I thought she did a great job. I'm sure there's going to be some black folk that are like, how dare you? But I honestly believe that, like, Amy Madigan, in my opinion, ran away with that, with her performance in Sinners as the witch. If I'm not Sinners, I'm sorry, Weapons.
Yeah.
And if not that, Emily Blunt was also insane in the Smashing Machine. I spent the whole time, like, I feel like such an asshole for saying that, but I spent the whole movie she would do or say something. I was like, this bitch. Like the whole movie, I was so mad. And it's not to say that Tiana Taylor wasn't good, and it's not to say that we haven't seen people win awards like because didn't Baldwin win like supporting Alec Baldwin supporting for the whole you gotta be closing thing, like being in the movie for like 5 minutes
for Glengarry Glen Ross.
So it happens, but like she was in the movie like what 10 minutes.
Like
because
Anthony Hopkins is a big one. Anthony Hopkins won for being on screen for like 9-10 minutes of Silence of the Lambs. And so in this case Tiana Taylor was in the movie for like about 10 minutes. She's in like kind of the opening. This is what was established, and then her character's gone. So this feels in a way the way I felt about Jamie Lee Curtis winning over Angela Bassett or Stephanie. How do you pronounce her last name? Stephanie Hsu.
Over Stephanie Hsu. Both of those, they both, in my opinion, gave stronger performances. Jamie wasn't bad, but there were two better. I feel the same way about this. I personally feel that Amy Madigan and Emily Blunt, both because of the length of the time they were in the movie, and it didn't take away from what Tiana did. There were also just performances in the movie sometimes that can cloud it. It's not to say that a whole cast couldn't win awards, but like I'm thinking about Chase Infinity, I'm thinking about Leo, I'm thinking about Sean Penn, and how all three of them were in outer space. The way that they were performing. And again, it does not mean that Tiana was bad at all. She was very, 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 very good. I just think that this was a very stacked category, so that surprised me probably the most. And then the fact that Sinners, unfortunately, really didn't pull anything other than cinematic achievement also rubbed me the wrong way. That was a little weird to me, because I could have very much seen. I know they don't split screenplay like they do in the Oscars. There's a strong talk about how Sinners will most likely win original, and One Battle will win adapted because it's an adapted script. So I'm curious about that. But those are the main ones that kind of I was like, huh, like what's going on here? But yeah, what about you, man? Where are you at on all of this?
I'm with you on the Tiana Taylor thing, but I think this has always been the case with Best Supporting Actress. You just never know. Most years, it's like a crapshoot who's going to win because they all deliver fantastic performances, and so it becomes about the minutia of what affected you as a voter in that particular performance to put it that much more above everyone else's, right? And so Tiana winning, we've seen Amy Madigan winning a number of times here. I was really surprised because, this is like 90% critics that are not based in the United States. The Golden Globes, 90%, 10% are critics from the United States here. And there was a number of people who were, there was a actress who was nominated for A Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Lilias. I thought maybe she would come in and take it, like Wagner Moura won. When you see how many critics are from South America, Brazil is in South America. He's a Brazilian actor. It wasn't surprising that Wagner won. And look, Wagner delivers an incredible performance. To me, it's like right below Timothée Chalamet in my overall ranking of best actors of last year. But I'm not surprised he won. But with Tiana, I was, because I agree. I thought I thought Inga would win or Amy Madigan would win. But I think the thing I take away from all these award shows for Best Supporting Actress is Ariana has no shot of winning this thing, and it's very clear that no one is thinking of Wicked for Good at all, even though she was damn good in the movie. It's just I think the movie's underperformance, the way it's been received, I think has ended up hurting her chances to win awards, whether it's fair or not.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the weird part that I also don't like, is there are moments where I could watch something and I'm like, no, that person, like someone cooked in here. Like it was their individual work should outshine whatever's going on with the movie, which happens from time to time. I'm talking about you, Suicide Squad, being apparently the only DCEU Academy Award winning movie. Jesus Christ. But but yeah, you would hope that you'd be able to outshoot that. I think the other thing that's really interesting to me is I don't think I really love the splitting of the categories the way that they do of like drama versus musical or comedy, because tell me something that doesn't make any sense. In what world is One Battle After Another not a drama and Sinners not a musical? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that really should have been a flip. If we're being 100% honest, Sinners is full of music. You have an entire mid movie break where we talk about how the music taps into the ancestors, and you have a whole moment. I don't remember a musical number in one battle after the other. And sure, did I laugh from time to time? Yeah, but I spent most of the time on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, so-and-so is about to get murdered. Like the entire movie was incredibly dramatic. And yet somehow it's a musical comedy. Begonia, in my opinion, kind of has some funny moments. That is a drama. That is at most a dramedy. That is a drama. That is a very like, what the like, so I don't like how a lot of that stuff kind of breaks down. Hell, I would even say Marty Supreme, again, moments of like funniness and things that make us laugh because of him being but again, I believe they did that with Uncut Gems too. That's not funny. That's like, this is uncomfortable funny. Like every single time I would have laughed in either of those movies, I was like, so like part of what I don't love is even how they categorize this stuff. It doesn't make sense. And it's the same way that I hate with the Emmys. The Bear is not a comedy. Kiss my ass. The Bear is a drama that has funny moments because of also uncomfortable situations or fact just being hilarious. But otherwise, it is not a comedy at its core. And I think what bothers me about that is it then takes away from the actual comedies that are there or the musicals that are there that deserve their like comeuppance too, deserve their praise too. But that's just me.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think they do it so that they can try to please everybody. That's basically why I've always just kind of believed that about the Golden Globes, that they split the category so they can praise more people and get more people to come to their award shows. Because it's not, it's not some kind of secret that this is all kind of coordinated with publicists and all that kind of, like, they hint at, like, is my client going to win? They can't say, but they can certainly insinuate. And so, okay, then my client will show up or people will be there for it and blah, blah, blah. Because nobody wants to go there and constantly lose. The Oscars are a whole nother ballgame. That's something else. But I think all these other organizations, there is maybe some kind of conversations going on behind the scenes that insinuate certain things. And so you want to get as many people there who are famous as possible to your award show. So you kind of make it, kind of use that double talk or coded language to make it seem like, hey, you're going to win or you're going to be highlighted or you're going to get something in one of these categories. So it behoove you to show up, right? So the way you do that is you split drama from musical or comedy. So you have more movies that are in contention, more movies that can get nominated, more actors that can get nominated, so they all show up. That's the whole thing, and so that's why they do it. Do I like it? No, I don't like it. I think it's called Best Film of the Year, and it should go that route. But, they split up the drama and musical comedy. So
look, I don't even... It's not even the fact that they split the genres. That's something that I've come to accept. What I have a problem with is stop mislabeling shit just so you can get an award. So you're submitting, like, I remember, I didn't know this until this time, but I love Viola Davis. I think she very much deserved to win her Oscar for Fences. Yeah. I remember all of a sudden them like, she was listed as supporting actress when anybody that knows the actual play and the movie itself, they are co-leads. She was a lead actress and should have been in the lead, but it's submitted by the producers of what they want to put in the category.
Right.
I need us to keep it a buck. There's something very disingenuous, it feels like, about these awards where you're just trying so hard to get your client, your movie, or whatever to win something. Yeah. That you're submitting it in a category that doesn't make sense. I go back to The Bear once again. That is the one that upsets me more than anything, because you have an Abbott, a Hacks, all these different types of shows that are actual comedies. And we've seen comedy start to die in the industry, that you need to put those types of shows and movies up there so that we cannot let that happen. Right. You know what I mean? So that's all. That's going to be my gripe. Other than that, I don't have an issue with any of the winners one way or the other. I think Ludwig is probably, if he continues this run, might go down as the greatest like composer / scorer person like ever. And he's
since
like,
John Williams.
He's I mean, but if he continues on this trend,
Okay.
Hear me out. If he continues on this trend, he's got like a tiger chasing after what's his name? Nichols. Like type as long as Ludwig doesn't come out and his, I guess it would flip. Instead of his like Scandinavian, like European wife, he's got a black wife, and his black wife chasing him with a golf club, chasing him with the
You talking Tiger Woods? You talking Tiger
chasing him
Woods?
with the keyboard, like his keyboard, like you mother. Like as long as that doesn't happen, he could very well, because look at all the awards he keeps winning. Look at how iconic his scores are.
Yeah.
He has a long way to go before he surpasses John Williams, but he is on a trajectory that's insane.
Yeah, I'm happy for Hamnet winning, but I do think it's a little ridiculous what Sean Fennessy at the Ringer came out and tweeted last night. He's like, we got an Oscar race for Best Picture. I was like, cut it out. Cut it off. I know you need to get clicks and likes and views and engagement on your stuff on the Ringer, but it's nonsense to say there's any kind of competition, okay? It's one battle after another. It's going to win. It's going to be a juggernaut on Oscars night. It would take this is not Shakespeare in Love versus Saving Private Ryan. I don't think it's the same kind of situation. We were much more in a praising independent movies type place in the 90s than we are now necessarily. So I don't think Hamnet has any shot. And I don't think Sinners has a shot. And I know some people are really upset about that, and I get it, certainly from a cultural standpoint. I totally understand that. I saw a critic from Chicago come out and say that One Battle is going to be an afterthought in the future. And it's like, that's ridiculous. You don't have to denigrate one film to elevate Sinners. I get that you want to cape for Sinners. Totally respect that. It's a great film. It's a fun film. But One Battle After Another, I think, deserves much more credit than some people are giving it. I think it's a prescient film. Remember, he shot this stuff like a year and a half ago. Okay. We're seeing what's in our streets right now. We're seeing it in that movie. And that movie was shot 1.5 to 2 years ago before it came out. And it's amazing what it profiles. And I think what the commentary it makes also, as for me as a son of Latino immigrants, seeing the Benicio del Toro section, how that's handled with grace and respect and honorability, and also commentary about how people are just trying to come to this country and make a life for themselves, while you've got nutballs on the left and nutballs on the right fighting amongst each other, using them as pawns. So you see this whole situation play out in such a smart way in this movie that, to me, I think it's an insult to say that film is going to be an afterthought when it's going to be a very evergreen, universal commentary on what happens when an authoritarian person is put in charge of a country and what your country can devolve into, and the madness of living in an authoritarian state, And so I just think there's a little more respect needs to be paid to One Battle After Another. But I think it's going to win the Best Pictures. But I think Hamnet's excellent. I think Sinners is a fucking blast. I think it's so poignant, Sinners. And then whatever you feel about the third act, some people dip out on that, some people don't. And I think Winston, that's my opinion. I think the reason Sinners isn't more of a possible juggernaut to go toe to toe with One Battle is because it becomes that vampire movie in the latter part of the film. And I think some older voters will get turned off by that. And I think that's why they might not vote for it. Because, man, the commentary it's making about the Black culture is incredibly powerful when you're watching that movie. I've seen it 3 times now. It is just incredible. And so, but I do think the vampire stuff is going to turn some people off. I like it, but I think the voters are going to be turned off by it.
Yeah, well, but if we're being honest, there has been a long-standing campaign throughout to kind of undercut that movie as is,
since Variety, 100%.
From Variety to there's been a number of things to kind of undercut it. So I was already mentally prepared for that to go tits up, just because of that. But it's one of those things where what I appreciate with what's happening is the idea that Ryan and Michael, for example, are making a very strong push that they're doing a lot of media work right now. They're doing a lot of interviews, as most people do, but they're also knowing, for example, that that's probably something that's working against them.
Yeah,
they've actually gone out of their way to seek a lot of Black critics and creators and journalists to do a lot of interviews with them. So it's like, if we're obviously trying to get the awards, but at the bare minimum, the one thing that they understood is like, yo, this is for the culture more than anything. So we're really going to tap into the culture and really give something back in that regard of the people that have been supporting the movie the most. So I think it's one of those things where, in the same way we've seen multiple times with like rappers and R&B artists and all that being like, Grammys, cool, great, but also y'all don't actually know this genre the way that you claim to do. You really have gotten this wrong a number of times. So we're gonna focus on our own shit. And if it happens, great, but we're not gonna put like a lot of priority on it. It doesn't mean that they do not want the Oscar. It does not mean that they don't want the Golden Globe and things like that. But if you already know that it's gonna kind of go a way that you don't expect it to go, then you find other ways to feel good about what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. Well, that's our conversation on the Golden Globes. Let us know what you thought. Were you surprised by any of the wins? Were you excited by any of the wins? Do you think this is actually going in places that you didn't expect it to? Or do you think it's pretty much where you thought it was going to go in the end? Let us know in the comment section. We got 15 super chats right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to at least 50 or 60 super chats. So please, send in your love, send in your questions, send in your thoughts and comments. It's a Monday morning, second weekend of January. Give us some love here on the show. And remember, when you send in super chats to Winston and I, you're sending them in to support the Kristian Harloff Show. So send in your questions, thoughts, and comments. We will answer them. We'd love to get to 60 at least for today, so that the show, can keep being in a positive side of things. So please send them in as we go along here. So, all right, Winston, let's get into some other things going on in the world of entertainment. Let me put the right graphic up here. We've also got Avatar topping the global box office. We'd like to talk about that on Mondays as well. And so let's bring that up now. So, there it is. Avatar tops. James Cameron's Fire and Ash. Avatar Fire and Ash topped the box office again globally this past weekend. The title adding a further 86 million worldwide in its fourth weekend of release, bumping it to 1.23 billion. Well, highly impressive. The film appears to be losing steam a bit faster than Way of Water, which was at 1.7 billion by the end of its fourth weekend, ahead of a $2.3 billion total. With no holidays this weekend, the film fell 52%. Domestically, the film is the first since Barbie in 2023 to rank number one for 4 weekends in a row. It recently surpassed Lilo and Stitch to become the second highest grossing Hollywood release of 2025, behind only Zootopia 2, which is currently at 1.65 billion. It's still going with a further 40.9 million worldwide in its seventh weekend. Put that on the table. You got beat by a bunch of furry animated animals, Cameron. Meanwhile, The Housemaid is up to 192.5 million worldwide. It looks like they crossed the $200 million mark. A big success for a $35 million budgeted feature. Yep. Shout out to Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney on that one. Anaconda passed the $100 million mark this weekend. It shocks the fuck out of me, adding a further 12.7 million for a worldwide total of 1.10. Not bad for a $45 million budget film. And then Primate opened domestically with very limited overseas markets. The title pulling in 11.3 million in the US, 13.4 million worldwide, which isn't great because it was made, I think, for like 25 million. Greenland 2, the Jar Butler film there, meanwhile, landed at 8.5 million domestically and 12.5. Pretty much a dud there. And the new SpongeBob film, Marty Supreme, are now up to 132.2 million worldwide and 84.1 million worldwide, respectively. So what do you want to say about the box office here, Winston? What stands out to you, brother?
I mean, I'm not trying to be a I told you so guy, but Avatar is not going to hit 2 billion. I said that before. I stand by that. I think it taps out at 1.5 at maximum. I think it's hitting 1.7. Once you get a re-release, which they're going to do at some point, if they really are going forward with Avatar 4 and 5, then you'll cross the 2 billion point potentially down the line.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's got the cap will be 1.7.
Yeah.
And for me, I said this before. I've just never really been super that I finally figured out the word that I think clicks into place for me for Avatar.
Okay.
Because it happened again. I finally went to see it like a week or two ago.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, just like always, especially with the 3D glasses on and everything, this is gorgeous. This is a beautiful looking film. What I realized that the feeling that I got from watching it is it has always felt very generic to me. And I think it can kind of tap back to the first film of you. Like, I get that is a general term people will use for stuff, but calling the mystery element unobtainium, it just, I know people have been like, that's a scientific thing that happens. And I was like, yeah, as a placeholder type situation. Most of the time, once you have figured that out, you turn around and it's named after the scientist that discovered it, or it's named after the conqueror that whatever it is. It would be little things like that I was like, this feels a little generic to me.
Yeah.
So considering a lot of the beats were the same in this one from the last one, and people aren't spending money at the movies the way that they used to, I am not surprised, because that was the thing that was wild to me. The number of people that kept yelling, like, it's gonna make 2.2. How dare you? And I was like, no, it's not, bro. Like, it's really not. I love the MCU. Unless the Russos put together something even more fantastical than Infinity War and Endgame, I don't think they're hitting 2. I think that I think that we have to just be realistic of where stuff is. Like, again, anybody that is bloviating about it being that high, we just have to remember where we are as an economy, where we are as a movie economy, where we are in a number of different spaces that we're not going to necessarily be hitting those heights again, except for complete rare air. Like, I think Niza 2 hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
But that's also because, China ate that up like crazy before it really got to anybody else. So I don't know. I hope we start to kind of see where that landscape is, and then give grace to movies, because I think that the major tentpoles are, that if that's the ceiling, then you can kind of look at the floor. If you're like, oh wow, an Avatar only hit 1.5, then we shouldn't be as hard on movies that are hitting 250. That's actually really, really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just need to readjust for where we're at, because I think we're still pre-pandemic numbers on stuff and expecting things to hit that,
Yeah, I just think I think it would have hit 2 billion if it was a much more interesting film, and I think if they didn't repeat the same beats from the second one. The thing is, those films made the money that they made because people kept coming back because they liked the story and they loved the visuals. I do see some people, and I will call them a little brain dead, who go, nobody goes for the story. Bullshit. They do. They enjoy the story. They like the story. They like where it's going. But when you're repeating the same beats and you're dragging out, this is almost like a filler episode. Almost. I know it introduces a new villain, but this film was almost like a filler film in that you were trying. We're seeing it with Stranger Things as well. It came out today. Like, we didn't even have a final script before we started shooting the first episode. There you go. And so it's those things where you see, like, and even James was hinting at the kind of dedication. And he's like, I'm not sure if I'm coming back with 4 or 5. I think making the third one took a lot out of it. And I think he wasn't 100% inspired as he had been for the first one and second one. Falling back to repeat the same beats, that is a sure sign of an artist who is running out of steam with that particular project or story they're trying to tell. So they go back to what they know works, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, they do that. And that's what happened with this film. And I think the word of mouth of people going, yeah, have you seen the second one? You've seen the third one. That stopped people from going. I think people didn't go over and over again because there was nothing new to really see other than the new villain, which was good, but in the end didn't tell that great of a story. The visuals are always going to be stunning, but you can wait to watch that at home, right? And so it's just that kind of thing. And so I think that's in the end what sank the film. And I see some people, I just want to finish a point real quick, Winston. I see some people saying in the chat like, oh, I'd be happy with 1.5. I'd be happy. It's funny because they're the same people who had the negative energy on Michael Bay. It's like, well, his movies aren't making $1 billion anymore. You got to kick him off Transformers. But when Cameron comes in lower because they have a soft spot or a hard on for Cameron, they're like, hey, I'd be happy with just making 1.5. I'd be happy. The movie cost $400 million. If it only made 1.5, that's not good. That actually is not good. And no matter how you paint it or try to think 1.5 billion is that great, when the movie costs $400 million, and that's before marketing, that's not good, 1.5 million. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry, what's it go?
No. You're fine. I think that was probably my biggest issue with the movie is I wanted to know more about this Ash tribe. I really did. Other than they're the evil Na'vi, I was like, where is this like coming from? Like, we got to meet the villainess a little bit, but not fully. I would have loved to put one of the kids undercover with the Ash tribe, or the son is so upset because his family keeps, like, his dad has fully shit on him, being like, you killed my other son. let him be like, you know what? Then F you, Dad. I'm out.
Yeah.
And he ends up with the Ash Tribe, and then it's a situation of not to go Star Wars with it, but like, damn, do I actually reject the dark side of the Ash Tribe and whatever? Like, there are so many things you could have expanded out into. We already covered I cannot remember the name of the fish people. The Tulakan, is that it?
Yeah.
The
Tulakan. Yeah.
Tulakan. So the Tulakan outcast that is the younger brother's like best friend, like they're brothers. You already did that with that one where he was an outcast because he believed in fighting, like in killing, but to protect.
Right.
You did that. So that I would have liked to have seen more of that kind of come out of it. So that being said, I agree with you. I think if you rehash certain stuff, you get that word of mouth, it can affect whatever said box office one way or the other. Now, let's keep it a buck. James Cameron is one of the greatest to ever do it, and the achievement that he's done for all of his films, but especially with these three, he still deserves his praise. But I think in the same way that when you watch LeBron, you watch Michael Jordan, you watch Tom Brady, you can praise their greatness, but you can still go, you have set the bar here. So when you do it here, you're still better than everybody else, but I'm going to judge you based off of your own performance. And so that's where I'm at with this, is that I've seen James Cameron like cook before. So it's when it's not up to that level, I'm like, And that doesn't mean that he's not great. It just means that you gave me an A instead of an A+, and you average A+.
And I think the more you go further into it, like he got away with it in the first film. The first film is a very simple story. Native good, colonizer bad. It's very simple. And yes, there's the relationship between, the colonizer and the colonized there in the Na'vi with Jake and Zoe Saldana's character. There's stuff there, right? And then you get into the second film, you introduce the water people and you bring in Kate Winslet and Cliff Curtis. They do a great job. The interactions with the young kids, and you bring in the whales. Like, that's fascinating stuff, right? I still think it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was certainly good. And you have a great action sequence at the end, that battle, the war, and the stuff with Stephen Lang, which gets a lot of complexity in the second one. Great. But then you get to the third one, and I think this is where the issues lie, Winston. Cameron's not really known for being the most complex, nuanced filmmaker when it comes to storytelling. He just isn't. He's always kind of faltered in that way. Look at Abyss. The reason The Abyss isn't that is a great movie, but not the great movie, is because there's issues with the story. When you get to that ending, you're like, what the fuck is this ending? So there's issues there. And I love The Abyss, by the way, so don't come for me. But when you look at this, you're absolutely right. We should have gotten more of a nuanced approach to the Fire Tribe, why they felt this way, what went on. We got the idea of the background and the fire and all of that, but how did that affect them? Why aren't they having conversations about it? Instead, we just made them the villains instead of exploring why they're upset, why this happened, why they felt betrayed by the god of the planet there. What was that? So there was more to explore, but Cameron's not really known for doing that. And I think that's where the series now is starting to feel like it's on crickety legs a little bit. They maybe should bring somebody else in to write scripts, to do a better job with that approach and tell a more nuanced story, and not just rely on his aging hubris to write the story. That's my opinion.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes. Okay.
What disappointed you more?
Okay.
Avatar 3.
Okay.
Or the fact that Conformity Gate wasn't real.
Definitely Avatar 3, because I always like to go in and enjoy a movie. I always want to enjoy a movie, and I just didn't enjoy that one. Conformity Gate, I knew was bullshit from the beginning.
I
no
did
surprise.
too. That's why I just said, look, as long as people have your fun, that's totally fine. The crash out I was already anticipating from coming when this was all not a thing. Had me dying. So I was just like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see where the box office for that ultimately falls.
Yeah.
Again, like me and you, because we love sports so much, we bring it back a lot.
Right.
There are definitely some titles that were like, no, you were the most dominant team in the game. There was no question about that. And there are some titles where like, you still won a title, but you skated by that, like by that much of a razor thin margin. And if even one thing shifts, then like I think about the Chiefs the year that they had to come off the road. They were like they were the 4 seed and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes' overbearing offense. That defense was at an elite level. It was like you won, but damn, like we were worried there for a minute. That's kind of what I'm feeling about this Avatar movie. I was like, bro, I mean, yeah, okay, cool. You've definitely pushed out some profit, but I've seen you like blow minds before. So it's just kind of that is where we're kind of looking at the the difference.
Yeah. And I see someone saying, what they say, Nike Joy 12 says, I mean, the movie literally explained that. So, okay. See, and this is where you're being a little dense. I didn't say that we didn't know why they became the Fire Tribe. What I'm saying is that there was no conversations about differing points of views about the god of their planet. There was just back and forth about, well, they abandoned us or it abandoned us. Okay. But what's a more nuanced take on that? How can we have more conversations? How can she go on a journey, on an emotional arc about the situation by the end? That wasn't there. And so those are the things that are missing. Telling a simple story of like, fire good, me bad, me good, that kind of stuff is so pedantic by the time you get to the third installment. There have to be conversations about the philosophical differences, the religious differences. It could have been an interesting commentary on religion, but none of that was in there. And that is an issue to me when you look at these kind of films by the time they get to the third installment. And Cameron has to honor that. And I don't think he's got the ability to honor that. And that's, to me, the issue with something like this when you approach it as a filmmaker. So, all right. Well, there we go. All right. Let's see. Do we have one more story to tell here? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Let's tell one more story here. Winston, I know we're running out of time. And by the way, we have 25 super chats. You saw the call out from Kristian Harloff on the show in the chat. He said, let's get us to 100. Get us to 100 super chats, y'all. Send in the super chats here as we go along. We're going to do one more story. I think we should do the Doom Spider-Woman story. We'll try to keep this brief, Winston, but we'll talk about it as much as we can here. But there is this rumor going around here. Let's get into things here. Joe, hey, Joe, speaking of conformity gate, another day and several more Marvel rumors have cropped up. First up, Sony's Olivia Wilde Spider-Man movie. That project was first reported back in 2020, stuck in development for years and years. Daniel RPK is reporting that the film has been scrapped altogether and indicates Sony is now more open to sharing its characters with Marvel Studios. They also indicate that Marvel Studios is reportedly eyeing Stranger Things Joe Keery for a role in the MCU, though no word on what that part might be. Then John Campea, Scooper John Campea. John's a little bit more than a scooper, but all right, is claiming that the upcoming Avengers Doomsday won't have an explanation as to why Victor Von Doom looks like Tony Stark. That particular issue reportedly won't be addressed until Avengers Secret Wars. And Avengers Doomsday is currently screening a fourth teaser trailer in cinemas, which Jeff Snyder said was going to be Wakanda and Fantastic Four, and it is. So look at that. But what are your thoughts on these rumors here, Winston? Anything stands out? Anything you want to make a comment on?
I'm laughing at the fact that they're like, guys, we are so sorry to announce that Spider-Woman has been canceled. Like,
yeah.
I was under the impression that after Craven got to about week 1.5, all projects that were not centered around Spider-Man over at Sony were canceled just because like that was the last straw, bro. Like, they were on an all-time terrible run there with those kind of spin-off films. So I thought that was already done. I'm happy to hear because I did hear about that Sony was more willing to let the MCU play with more of those properties and help let Disney essentially write them a check for using the stuff that I guess was originally Marvel's rights. I mean, that they sold off and whatnot. So I think that'll be good. I think that's interesting about not explaining why Doom looks like Tony until the second film, but as long as it gets explained one way or the other, I guess, because my guess was one of two things: either kind of the path, two roads taken type scenario where like Doom gets kidnapped again, but instead of he comes out and I want to be a hero, he's like, no, this world is evil, I need to fix it. Or a scenario where Tony or the Doom sees Tony was this beloved whatever, right? And so he's like, I'm gonna use that to I'm gonna change my face so I can use that to take advantage of these people.
Yeah.
Like I assumed it was going to be one or the other as far as that goes. So it's fine if they want to wait until the second movie. That's fine. I just figured they would do it in the first, because even Thanos explained why he was doing what he was doing in the first movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Here's what I'll say. One, I'm not surprised about the Spider-Woman thing, nor am I surprised that Olivia Wilde, who after that debacle with that film with Florence Pugh, just it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And look, fairly or unfairly, it did. And so I'm not surprised that Spider-Woman's not happening. And I think, as you said, Sony is just like reevaluating everything. The fact that they want to share their characters, I think they realize, look, we're losing money here. We need to get into the playground with the MCU. Maybe because Marvel's a little bit kind of on its heels, we can negotiate a better deal for ourselves to share our characters, which helps both sides. And so I think that's something to consider when you look at this situation as well. So not surprised by it. Joe Keery coming into the MCU, I think that's great. I wonder who he'd play. Will he be the Peter Parker of the Miles Morales thing? Or are you going to use Tom Holland to launch his Peter Parker, launch Miles Morales? I don't know. But it could be interesting if he's Peter B. Parker in, essentially, if you look at the Spider-Verse thing in the Miles Morales universe, because I could totally see Joe being that, which would be a lot of fun. The other side of it is what we were talking about with this the Doom situation. I think Doomsday needs to be excellent if they're going to go that route, right? And if they're going to do the thing where they're not going to explain to you why they look alike, like Winston, we've seen these creative decisions before. You know, I had a tweet that went a little semi-viral over the weekend when I posted about Luke, Han, and Leia. J.J. Abrams made a decision, well, we're going to wait to reunite them until the second or third movie. And it's like, well, Carrie died. Now you can't fucking do it. And so it's these chances they take creatively that delay the satisfaction of the viewer that, to me, you better have a damn good movie to get people to be excited, to delay the gratification and be invested in it. Because if you don't, it's one of the things people are going to use to hit you over the head with if the movie comes out and it's not a good movie. So I think if this is the route they're going, it's a dangerous line to be walking, in my opinion, if they don't get it right. Because people want to see it. People want to see the logic of it.
They want to see it for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's those are the subjects we have to talk about here. Let's get into the questions. As I said, we have 28 of them. We'd love to get to 100, as Kristian was saying in the chat. So send in your super chats, your questions, your thoughts, or comments as we go along. Before we jump into that, though, to give you a little bit more time, we got a Factor coming back to reinforce how they want you all to be in better shape here going forward in the future. So watch this, and after this, we'll get into the questions. Send in your super chats now.
Factor. How many times have I talked about Factor? Why do I talk about them so much? Because I love them. New year, big goals, and you got no time to cook. Well, that's why Factor is the best. They make it so easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians, crafted by chefs. You can eat well without the shopping or cooking. I love that there's so much quality to it. It's lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, healthy fats. That's what I love about it. You guys know that the last year, it's been a health journey for me, and I got to find the right things to eat. And for me, Factor fits my goals. I can eat healthy. I can manage my calories. There's more protein. It's the best. There's over 100 rotating weekly meals. Just choosing through them, it's so much fun. Mouth-watering, to be honest. Plus, there's a new Muscle Pro collection, which supports strength and recovery. It's always fresh, never frozen, ready in about 2 minutes. There's no prep. There's no stress. It is the best. I love it. You guys know, I've been talking about it forever. Listen, I was eating Factor even before I was trying to stay healthy. And now, man, I was one step ahead. Head on over to factormeals.com/Christian50 off. Use that code Christian50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. I love breakfast. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor.
There you go. Make healthier eating easy with Factor, Winston A. You got to do that in life.
Absolutely.
You're dropping down as well. You look good.
Thanks, man. I still got some. I messed up. I didn't. The only thing I did workout wise last week was walk the dog, and we started a plank for a minute every day challenge. I hate it. I hate
planking
planks.
is tough.
I hate planks so much.
Yeah.
So that, but I need to get it again. It's leg day today. So when we finish,
I've walked
up,
a few of
that's
them
where
in
I'm
my time.
Yeah.
All right. So Kristian wants to remind you all that he will be seeing 28 Years Later Bone Temple tonight. He will have an out of theater reaction for that as well tonight So will I. So we both will have, but his will probably eclipse mine. God damn it. But I will be watching it as well
Where was
tonight.
my invite, Roka?
Well, I'm in San Diego, bro. You come on down.
Shit.
Exactly. All right, let's get questions, man. First up, Stevie's N. Stevie, Mariah Carey has apparently become a YouTube member here for the Kristian Harloff channel.
All I want for Christmas is Mariah Carey as a member.
Come on now. Exactly. Go Pal says, I got a 1 p.m. call, but sending support. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Darren Wright says, Roka is my spirit animal. Oh, God. Darren, you got to find a new spirit animal. Don't follow me.
Oh, boy.
Jared says, Chiefs fan, call me petty, but I'm happy the Eagles lost. I'm happy the Chargers lost. Now I just need the Bills to beat the Broncos.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you are actively rooting for teams you wouldn't necessarily root for because you need to take your enemies out. That's exactly how a sports fan is supposed to feel. It's so petty that you need your greatest enemies to suffer.
There you go. I think the Bills beat the Broncos. As I tweeted out, I think the Bills are inevitable. They're going to get there. Seattle Chaos says support for Roka and Winston. Go Seahawks. There you go. Go Hawks.
For now.
Right. Seattle Chaos says Nikki Glaser crushed it hosting the Golden Globes.
Dude.
Yeah, I thought she was even better this year, Winston. What'd you think?
I didn't see any of the award show. I didn't see her monologue just because I was watching football all day and I was also at which I'm actually kind of a fan of. A friend of mine he had a wedding in South Africa, so he did like a wedding reception kind of party thing back here, and it was just low key. It was just invited a bunch of people over, had a bunch of like sangria and pizza and stuff like that, just for people to be able to celebrate them.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch any of the Golden Globes, but I heard some of the jokes that she told, including the CBS News. That was I heard that was like that's a good one, bro. So yeah. I'm excited to. I'm gonna go back and watch it for sure.
She said best editing to the Justice Department or something like that. It was hilarious.
Damn.
Yeah. Julius Wyatt 8895 says, "Man, these NFL playoffs have been incredible. I didn't think the Bills were going to pull it out, but Josh may be undeniable this year. Herbert stinks. Well, you can stink when you don't have an O-line and your receivers are dropping the balls you throw to them. I don't think yesterday was on Herbert at all. Someone posted that South Park meme of that guy getting killed by the Cowboys on that South Park episode over and over again. That's essentially what happened yesterday.
Yeah, the only thing is though, and this was something that I saw an analyst talk about this morning on Get Up, and they were just like, we have glazed Justin Herbert so much, and there's always going to be an excuse of injury and everything else. Even Joe Burrow, who injury prone as he is, look at his O-line and how horrible they've been his entire career, more or less. Yeah. And he still made it to the Super Bowl. So like, there's a certain level of like, win a playoff game, Justin. Win one playoff game. He's won none. So got to do better.
I agree. By the way, speaking of Joe Burrow, you got to watch that interaction with him and Zach Taylor on the sideline. That is pretty revelatory what's going on in that relationship.
I have to go back and look at that.
Carlton Rudder says, London calling. What's up, Carlton? Saw Hamnet. Buckley destroyed me. Being a dad, incredible, heart-wrenching performance, an amazing film. Agreed. Saw The Housemaid. Enjoyed it too. Yeah. I'm gonna have to break.
Housemaid yet. I've got a lot to see. I know that the screeners for SAG start dropping soon.
Oh, so, nice. Yeah.
I need to some of the ones that I missed that are a little harder to see. I'll be able to finally lock down. So.
I'm gonna have to break and go see Housemaid this week. I think I'm gonna have to break and do it.
Just do it, bro. Just do it.
Fine. To give her some love. Ed at the movies says Nikki did great, but that random UFC promo, the poly market bets, the awkward color commentary, the show was cringy as hell. Ellison has made CBS shit. Listen, I don't disagree with you. The UFC promo was weird. That's
a UFC promo.
Yeah, what Venn diagram is like people watching the Golden Globes wanting to see UFC. It's like 1% maybe. The poly market bets. You didn't see the thing, Winston, but they actually put betting graphics up for who's going to win best animated film, best song. Like they had betting graphics, which I thought was weird. And the awkward color commentary. That tells you they can host a red carpet. They can't host. What we do is not something you can pick up overnight. You've got to spend time learning how to do it. I know the guy from ET was there, but the guy from Variety was not that strong at all. So I don't disagree with you. Some of the decisions, but they were trying to soup it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't quite all work out, And I thought some of the songs they played for people as they were walking up weren't the best choices either. Mac Overly CC, I guess. Miles is way more popular than Shuri Winston. He has 2 movies and a whole video game. You don't need Peter to sell Miles.
Well, okay. Yes and no. Yes, I am aware that Miles is a vastly more popular character than Shuri. However, with the history of Peter as a whole, the idea of if you had only introduced Miles and you never brought a Peter around, that would not, or you introduce Peter for a movie and then let's say, heaven forbid, like Tom had passed. And so then they were like, out of respect, we don't want to. And so you just stop putting Peter Parker and everything. That would not go over well at all. Yeah. People would be ready to riot, like, because Peter, I personally like Miles more, but Peter is like kind of the North Star of the mantle of Spider-Man. Like, even if you do pass the buck and everything else, in the same way that like anybody that shares that thing, I love X-23. She is just Wolverine, like the title of Wolverine now, but Logan is still the North Star of it. Like Steve is still the North Star. It does not take away from the people that take up the mantle after the fact.
Right.
But especially in movies, they want to see the storylines about the main people to hold the mantle. So that's what I'm saying. I am not saying Shuri isn't good. I'm just saying we have so much to T'Challa. We didn't even come close to talking about.
Yeah.
And it would be a mistake to not bring him back into the fold and let that happen.
Yeah. I agree 100%. But I also want to say, Mac, you're completely wrong on this comment. The 2 movies, Peter Parker was a massive part of the first movie that launched him, and Miles wasn't alone. Remember, the second movie is a 2-hander because you have Spider-Gwen and Miles. So you get Spider-Gwen's backstory. So it wasn't just a Miles Morales story. And even the video game, the first Spider-Man video game is Spider-Man. Then Miles Morales comes after Spider-Man. So they established Peter Parker first. So this idea that Miles has existed in a vacuum without Peter you're way off base on that one, brother. But I appreciate you sending in the super chat. Tim L. Sims says, hope everyone is doing well after what happened last week. First, based on the Globes, there will be a sinner's backlash if it gets hosed at the Oscars, in my opinion. Film of the year, hands down. Okay, Tim. So. Second, to Roca, Real Madrid fire Xabi Alonso's manager. Do you think Liverpool's the best fit for him? No lie, Real Madrid exposed themselves as a diva soccer club. 100%. I think if Slot doesn't make it out of this year or gets let go in the summer, Xabi Alonso is sitting right there, who we all kind of originally wanted anyway. So it may all work out in that way. But do you think, do you agree with him here on this one based on the Globe's film of the year, hands down?
I personally think
Sinners?
that but I think that's the whole thing. I think one battle after the other doesn't surprise me. And I think I still stand by this. And this is the only reason why, like, I get because of the trajectory of Sydney Sweeney's type stuff. But I call you out on that too. I don't think people can speak so boldly on things if they haven't seen them. So I remember when Barbie was like, in the award season, how was it not Best Picture? How did you not give it to Margot Robbie? I was like, did you see any of the other movies? Well, no, then be quiet. Because
I agree with that.
You literally did not see any of the things that were going and opposed to Barbie. So you cannot say that Barbie was the best if you didn't see everything, or at least everything that was in contention.
I agree.
So to that point, if people go off the handle about Sinners being the best, but you didn't see One Battle After Another, I still think Sinners was better than One Battle After Another personally.
Right.
But I would not argue with anybody that felt the opposite. I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah. And I only said Sydney Sweeney stuff. Yeah, I didn't tell anybody not go see the movie. I just want to make that clear. I didn't tell anybody not go see the movie. Gregory Top True. They need to add YouTube to Oscars, Emmys, and the Globes. I watch it the most. Harloff for Show of the Year. I saw they added Poehler's show win. Oh yeah, Amy Poehler's win, A+. I mean, the YouTube, certainly the Oscars are going to go to YouTube in a couple of years, or in, I think 2029. Sorry, so in like 3 years. The Emmys and the Globes, I think, will follow suit as well. I don't think they'll all be on YouTube, but certainly clips of it. And the numbers were pretty high for Critics' Choice. The Critics' Choice ceremony this year saw a 125% increase in viewership from last year. So having a good host, having a bunch of good movies that spread amongst a lot of moviegoers is the formula for a successful award show, I think. Let's see. Corn Emperor says, watch Spill the Tequila Tuesdays. Many more topics. That's true. That's true. We try to cover a lot of things. Tuesdays at 4 p.m. PT on my channel. Jared J8846 says, shout out to Noah Wiley and the Critters of the Pit for their wins. I wish I had Apple TV so I could watch the studio.
Dude, the studio is fantastic. Go take 2 seconds and buy, like, get a trial or get up, like, do something where, like, you buy Apple Music, you get Apple TV. What just binge the studio. It's, in my opinion, the greatest TV show that happened last year, and the Pit is fantastic. I love the Pit, but the studio was on some other shit. Like, oh my god.
True. So true. James Dizio, 1468 says, how about my Pats? 3 more to go. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. You know, it was 3-3, 6-3, 9-3.
The Pats, in my opinion, are in a little bit of trouble. They should not have struggled that hard. If the Pats face, who are they? Do we already know who they're facing?
No, because the game has to happen tonight for the results.
Steelers Texans have to happen.
Yeah.
What seed are they? They're the 2 seed.
Yeah, Pats are the 2 seed. Yeah.
Okay, so, and what are the Texans?
I'm looking right now. Okay, so let's see. The Broncos are the 1 seed. The Pats are the 2 seed. They would play possibly they would possibly play Buffalo, or no,
Buffalo
they would play
was the 6, right?
Sorry, they play either the Steelers or the Texans. Because right now,
if they play the Steelers, then the Pats are good. If they play the Texans, they are losing. I guarantee you, if they play the Texans, the Texans will obliterate them, because you dealt with a pseudo defense out of the Chargers, like a decent one,
good defense. Yeah,
but if you play the Texans, which they're the Monstars, bro. Like, you don't want to play them. You don't have Bugs Bunny. You don't have Michael Jordan. You don't want to bring it back to movies. You don't want the smoke, bro. The Texans will eat the Pats lunch. So
I think they'd salivate going against a second-year quarterback in his hometown, knowing Vrabel is kind of a choke artist in the playoffs. Brody Bruce says, support to the TKLA team. # donkeys in space.
Donkeys in space.
Oh my God. You bastards, man. You bastards.
Wait, did you really hate donkeys in space?
It was funny.
That's hilarious, bro.
Jeff called it. Jeff knew it from the beginning. I didn't know what was going on. And Jeff goes, it's Christian sending them after us. And I was like, son of a bitch. Gregory Dom True says, how about my Vikings? Anyone got a QB to back JJ McCarthy? No. I don't think so.
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's out there somewhere, I think.
Jesus.
All right, let's see. Tim L. Sim, what's up? Tim's back again. Thank you, Tim. Says, seeing Fire and Ash box office performance, still a great 3D film, 3.9 out of 5 at 1.5 to 1.7 billion. I think it's very hopeful that the next 2 films will come, but given the economic situation, expect those 2 films to be it and no more. I think you'd be lucky to get the next 2 films, to be honest with you. And I don't think Cameron will direct either one of them, if they even get the next 2 films. I think he's going to EP, do other things. James Wan has already come out and said he'd love to direct an Avatar movie. I think there are a lot of directors who would love to come in, especially directors of color, directors who maybe have immigrant situations or colonizer situations in their history and their background that can bring more nuance to the story. I think that's the way you save this franchise right now from an underperforming, in my opinion, 3rd installment, is to bring in directors of color or writers of color who have experience telling these kinds of stories and exploring the nuances of them to make it more interesting, so to speak. Thank you, Tim. All right, one more question, and we're going to take another break. We got one more ad to play. Paul Hitchcock says, Roca, Winston, with house made 192 milli, is Sweeney finally not catching it from both sides? Devil's Triangle style, figuratively speaking, of course. # tequila callback. P.S. I'm going to let this joke die now.
No. Bring it back. Run that back. But yeah, I mean, look, one like they're moving, they're making it happen, man.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, so I can't speak on it. Right. But that's part of what I plan on doing this week. I got a lot to catch up on. Look, I think this is the kind of thing she needs, because her last few have just been box office bombs, and if that continues for too long, then people will stop looking to you. You know what I mean? If you can't bring it in at all. So
it doesn't care. It doesn't matter how many photo shoots you take, how attractive you are, how much guys want to be with you. If your films aren't making money, your time on the list is going to start decreasing. You know,
you either got to win awards, or you got to win money.
Yeah,
you got to win one or the other.
Good point, dude.
And so, since Christy is not apparently sniffing anything as far as awards, you got to try and get that money. So, you know, good for her as far as like preventing her career from going, you know, like nosediving or anything like that.
And please stop discounting people. Amanda Seyfried, who is the co-star of the movie, for God's sake. She's also a big reason why that film did well. All right, we got one more ad to play from Rougiette, so stick around. We'll be right back in a minute and 20 seconds to answer more of your questions. Take this time to send in more super chats. We really want to get to 100, but at least 50 or 60, so send them in. We're at 38 right now. Send them in as soon as possible, because remember, when you send them in, you're sending support to the Kristian Harloff channel, to Kristian Harloff. You're not sending money to Winston and I. You're sending money to Kristian Harloff and the Kristian Harloff channel. So send in your support here during this final ad break.
I got a lot of smart people who watch and listen to this show. Why? Because a lot of you have been signing up for Rougiette. Now, this is something most doctors know that most men just never talk about. Stress from work, money, family. It doesn't just disappear at night. It follows you right into the bedroom. You're going to be lying next to that person you love for years, and suddenly your mind's not going to let your body do what it has always done naturally. So situations like that, doctors look for treatments that help both the brain and the body, and that's where Rougiette Ready comes in. Unlike Viagra and Cialis, Rougiette Ready is a next-generation prescription treatment designed to help prime your brain for arousal and increase blood flow. It combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in 1 mint, dissolves under your tongue, absorbs fast. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes. You stay present, confident, and in control when the moment is right. Over 150,000 men have already made that switch to Rougiette. Getting started is simple. Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor online, and your treatment gets shipped discreetly to your door. For a limited time only, you head to rougiette.com/Christian. You get 15% off of your order. That is RUGIET.com/Christian. You get 15% off your order. Rougiette.com/Christian. You're welcome.
Damn. Thank you to Rougiette. You know, I guess John maybe tore his ACL on the way out. He was a little slow to get back. He was like, old man.
I just went and signed up. I just went and told my lady that she's going to get satisfied in the bedroom now because I'm going to get Rougiette.
So yeah, that's what happened. Okay.
Man can't get a fucking life.
I don't know why, dude. I just saw you as what's his name? Ben Stiller's dad. Come on, give me a little pee-pee. Come on. From Zoolander, do you remember that?
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. All right, let's keep going with the questions. Mike Joyce says, will Bay's Skibbity Toilet movie make $1 billion? No, it won't make $1 billion. I don't even think his Gundam movie will make $1 billion, but we'll see.
Jeez.
Battery says, I refuse to watch Black Panther 3 with no T'Challa. Inexcusable.
You gotta have T'Challa. You gotta have him, man. You gotta have him.
Oh, man. Oh, it's not like having a real drink. Water is fine and all, but I like my drinks. All right, let's see. What's the next one? Brody.
What?
No, I know. That's for tomorrow night. Brody Bruce 007 says, thoughts on the podcast award on the Golden Globes? Good to be recognized, I think. Who were the podcast awards here? Hold on. Do we have?
Oh, I don't even know. There was a podcast award. I didn't know that. Who won?
Amy Poehler won.
Oh,
I'm trying to look for because here. Let me look at it. Give me a second here. Golden Globes podcast award.
Oh, that wasn't, for whatever reason, I guess that wasn't in the story that from Dark Horizons. They didn't include it.
Okay. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, they didn't. Good Hang with Amy Poehler, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard, Call Her Daddy, of course, from Alex Cooper, the Mel Robbins podcast with Mel Robbins. I'm currently reading her books. Really good stuff there. Smart List with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. And Up First, which I've never heard of, with Leela Fadel, Steve Inskeep, Michael Martinez, A. Martinez, Scott Simon, which is an NPR podcast, I guess.
Mm.
But see, here's my problem. It's all famous people. Like, fuck off. How many podcasts are you actually listening to that are like, do you think that Amy Poehler's podcast is better than some of the like podcasts that aren't getting millions or billions of views? So to me, it's just like kind of it's like a glory thing more than anything else. So, and the Dex Shepard podcast, whatever with that. But like, to me, it's like, it's an interesting situation. I'm happy for Amy, but it's not like her podcast is groundbreaking. She's just sitting there talking with her friends for an hour, and it's a fun podcast, but it's not like groundbreaking in any way. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I think on top of that, that's the Golden Globes trying to get more relevancy. Nobody's checking for the Golden Globe for podcasts, like, at all. In the same way that, like, again, nobody's gonna shake, their head and be like, oh, I don't want that. But like,
yeah.
In the same way that I was using the analogy with hip hop and R&B, they were more focused on, potentially BET Awards or things like that, because it was like, these are people that actually understand the genre,
right,
and care, versus I want a piece of that pie. I don't,
right,
until we see that there's a major push for them to really care about that kind of stuff. Like you said, it just feels like you're just big upping a bunch of celebrities, because I would make the argument that there are other podcasts as good as Amy's is that are better, and that were just podcast. They're not leaning off of being a celeb. They built that from the ground up, and that's their whole thing. I think that's where, like, Alex, for example, from Call Her Daddy, is the only one that stands out in my head of like, no, you built this from the ground up as a podcaster.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, Winston. She built it from the ground up. She didn't trade in on the Amy Poehler name to get a built-in audience to watch or listen to her stuff. And that to me is what's frustrating when I watch some of these celebrity podcasts, because I just go, you don't have to work hard at it. You don't have to work hard like other people trying. Like, I worked at Cinephiles 9 years, almost 10 years now. We're going into our 10th year. We're finally at a really great place in terms of the amount of listeners, well over hundreds of thousands of listeners every month for our show. But we built it from the ground up, and a little bit of like Z-level fame being a part of this group of people here. But we've built it over the years. And so I look at something like Amy Poehler walking in, or Dax Shepard walking in, immediately you have a built-in audience. How much work do you really have to actually do? And you have a team of assistants who are doing all the work and research for you as well. Like, so
just real quick, because I will say this much. I am not taking it away that to make something successful, even with a name, you still have to put in the work. You still have to be able to book the stuff and all that kind of stuff. I think the only difference is, I just think because I think what that does is that discredits a scenario. Like, for example, I don't personally listen to Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan was a successfere comedian, had done plenty of stuff. He was still using his name to get there. Look at the Kelsey brothers and what they did with New Heights. Again, they went off their name, but they bust ass and have a great podcast as well, and it's the number one sports podcast. So there's nothing to take away from that whatsoever. It is just not lost on me that every single one of those was a Hollywood A-lister podcast minus Alex. That's the only thing that I'm really looking at and going, oh, okay. But other than that, no. I mean, look, her podcast is great. I'm not taking away. I'm not checking the Golden Globes for podcasts. That's the only thing.
Yeah, agreed. And I hear you, Joe Rogan. And listen, I should be the last person saying this, but you got to look at the right wing podcasts and how much they're like Ben Shapiro. Like, they're getting millions and millions of views. They're doing things that are clearly interesting to millions of people. Why are they not in contention with something like Amy Poehler's podcast, or even the Smartless podcast, which I think is funny? Someone pointed out that it's the first time an ex-wife has beat their ex-husband since Catherine Bigelow beat James Cameron for Hurt Locker over Avatar that year. So, because of course,
I thought that was going a completely different direction, and I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this.
Because Will Arnett is, Amy Poehler's ex-husband. So yeah. By the way, Will Arnett,
I totally get it. I just genuinely thought you were going a different direction. I was
no, yeah,
sir.
But please go see Will Arnett's new movie. Is this thing on? Is out now in theaters. Y'all got to go see it. He's excellent in that movie. He's probably not going to get nominated, and I think he should. All right, let's see where we're at here. We're at 40 right now. Come on, people. Get us to at least 60 by the time we wrap things up. We'd love it. Kristian Harloff's giving the call out there in the chat as well. So please. All right. Luis Fonseca says, is Rosso's Marvel's future writing on Doomsday and Star Wars? Yes. I
Is the
mean,
Russo / Marvel's future writing on Doomsday and Secret Wars.
or Secret Wars. Sorry, not Star Wars. Sorry, Secret Wars. I'm so used to SW for Star Wars. Sorry. Secret Wars is new, man. Secret Wars is new, dog.
I mean, yes, you're not in the best place right now. So to a certain extent, yes, it is kind of riding on that, and they need to lock in for sure. So yep.
Yeah, I don't know about the Russo's future because I don't know how much of a future they actually have at Marvel, but I know that the Marvel's future is definitely riding on Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because if those come out and they are mixed, or God forbid, shit the bed, Winston, fuck, man, I don't see any way back for Marvel for a while.
It will not be good.
No,
it will not be good.
Julius Wise says, yeah, PTA, the guy who made Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood, among other great films, made a movie that won't be remembered in 20 years. Get the fuck out of here. I agree with you, Julius. I agree with you. Night Fox says, can a live action DBZ, Dragon Ball Z movie be done and be fantastic? And who would be the right director for it? This is a Winston question. So, Winston, what do you got for us? What do you got for
us? In theory. But we really gotta see one way or the other. The first thing starts with casting. You don't cut corners. You don't just kind of make stuff up. I understand that movie adaptations are going to do their own thing, but they really strayed so far away from what made Dragon Ball special when they did Dragon Ball Evolution. So I have a little more faith now after seeing the success of One Piece. I don't know One Piece as a property directly. Like, I've never watched it or read the manga, so I can't speak to, but the fans that I know that love it, and Kristian, who that was like a big intro for him in that regard, like they speak very highly of it. So yes, in theory, but I don't feel good about it per se.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of One Piece, the new trailer dropped today. The new for season 2, a 1.5-minute trailer dropped today. Apparently, the Mummy trailer dropped as well. So I'll be reacting to that here right after we're done with the show. Julius Wide says, also poor George Kittle. Love watching him play. Yeah, dude, going out with that Achilles injury yesterday in I think second quarter.
That was so bad.
Yeah, it sucks because now you're out for like a year. You're not going to play next season unless the 49ers make the playoffs. That sucks like crazy. Cami Yegan, I hope I'm saying that right, Kama, or maybe it's Cami Yegan. I'm sorry. What did you think of the Bears-Packers game on Saturday? Do you think the Bears can beat the Rams? Sure.
Bear down.
Yes.
I think that is. I'm always really hesitant about people that figure it out in the 11th hour, and the fact that the Bears were dealing with a depleted Packers team. I get it's a division rival, so that's part of where that can go live like that. Yeah. But it's gonna make me a little weary because like Caleb got it together in the 4th. He was playing kind of crappy. The fact that you had to have the second largest comeback in a playoff game history in the 4th quarter, you know what I'm saying? Like specifically in the 4th, they scored 25 points.
Yeah,
that doesn't spell good things per se, but I think anything is technically possible because we've seen while Matt Stafford played crazy this whole season, we've seen that he's had a couple bad games. He can be got. So I think the real thing is, you technically have prayers with the Pope, bro. So you're probably going to win the Super Bowl at this point just because you have prayers. So
I got to say the Alfada. Listen, according to AccuWeather, the high on that day for the game right now is projected to be 20 degrees with the real field temperature being 7 degrees.
Alfada, who ought to be? Hallowed be thy name.
Oh, Lord. Winds of 13 miles per hour expected with gusts up to 21 miles per hour. So I think the Rams are going to have a really, really hard time beating Chicago in Chicago, especially because I think they're in a little bit of a short week and they got to travel and I just think that's a bad recipe for old man Stafford in the cold. Let me tell you something. When your body gets in the cold, it's a whole other ballgame when you're old than when you're young. And that Bears defense looks really stacked. So I think they are going to handle the Rams in the end. Gregory Dopp chooses.
Come, the Bears done one. I'm gonna write a whole de prayers. I'm gonna do the whole thing, bro. I'm gonna do it.
Holy Mary, mother of God. Gregory Dopp chooses Doomsday, rewrite and reshoot. If so, enough time. Maybe. I don't know. They'd rewrite and reshoot, but they're still writing the ending. I think they're still writing the ending. I have I have nothing on the Ellis Punk suing WB sour grapes. Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again, bro. That's why I skipped the topic because we had to get to the questions. Because what's new here?
Suing now, but they're suing now. It's not just not just
whatever.
Here's an open letter of why I think this is bad, and here's not a hostile takeover. Now it's a, you know what? I'm gonna sue your ass. Like,
it's crybaby shit. He's Veruca Salt from fucking Charlie. Whatever it is.
You know what this feels like?
What's that?
Anytime a dude like goes to hit on a girl and she's not into it, and then all of a sudden when she's finally like, get away from me, and all of a sudden it's like your ass was ugly anyway, bitch. Like that's what this feels like now. Now it's like, I will sue you. You don't want me to take over all your property? How dare you?
What a shock that a guy connected to what's his face can't take no for an answer. No means no. Ray Dominguez says, got here late catching the replay. Thank you, Ray. Love those cheeks, buddy boy. Jared J, 8846. Paramount is a joke. Using the Trump tactic, sue to get what you want. The Ellison's looking worse each and every day. WB doesn't want you. It doesn't want you. I agree.
No. You were ugly anyway. I didn't want you in the first place. I was just being nice. Because nobody else was talking to you.
Daddy, but I want WB, Daddy. Buy it for me, Daddy. I want WB. That's basically what it sounds like. It's so fucking ridiculous. This is supposed to be alpha males. These are supposed to be alpha males, for God's sakes. They're all a bunch of dorks. Karen von der Maiden, 5054, says, FYI, Jessie Buckley is a great singer as well. That's right. Yes, she had that. Damn, what was that movie from a few years ago? Wild Irish Rose or something like that. She was amazing in that film. So, yes, she can absolutely sing. And she's beautiful. I love Jessie. 28 Vasco, has anyone checked on Harloff after Julia Roberts' presentation last
That's actually
night?
where he is right now. Is he's just in the corner, just having some time.
Oh my God. There was a great, where is it? Yeah, here we go. Let's bring it up. I think Kristian might still be watching. Let's bring it up. I mean, this is her last night at the Golden Globes. Craftily putting that necklace where it's supposed to be. Oh, my Lord, bro. There you go. Come on.
That woman fine.
She's looking fantastic. I agree. And no, you'll get no issues on my end about her. She looked great last night. And so, yeah. And you know what? She was like a stateswoman last night, which I thought was really great. There was a lot of the old school Hollywood people being very stately last night. Clooney helping helping somebody come up I think Gene Smart come up the stairs to get her award. Apparently Adam Sandler behind the scenes was helping people get to places and stuff like that. So it was good to see Hollywood taking care of Hollywood. I know everybody likes to make fun of Hollywood, but there are human beings involved in this shit. Let's see. Shay Markel says, what's up, Shay? Thank you, Shay. He says, in Avatar 3, it would be great if the villain's rage and pain was more fueled after discovering that Awa blessed supports Jake and his half-breed children, but not Hertron when they needed Awa the most. Great. That is phenomenal nuance. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that battle. Let's have that argument. Again, this is what I'm talking about. The complexity of the situation needed to be explored. Winston.
I almost wanted to, they just started to talk about it because I know friends of mine who are mixed. So when what's her name, when Nefertiti started being like, I hate all of the pale skin.
Yeah.
I hate them. And it's like, so you hate me? So you hate your kids?
No children?
She admits it. But God, we needed to go deeper into that.
Yes.
Like you started that conversation, but you weren't ready to have it because that by itself could have been enough of a story. Like, don't have Jake be so damn mad about his son being killed. Of course he'd be mad.
Yeah.
But have the mom straight up just like, I don't with my son anymore, and because that's his evil human half. Like,
Right.
oh my God, that would have been heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it really is something that I unfortunately have a friend that's exactly what it is that, you know, she's half black, half white. And then all of a sudden she realized over the years, her mom is actually very racist against black people. So she doesn't talk to her mom anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, my bad.
Yeah.
What's her name? I don't remember her name. What if it's not I said Nefertiti. I know that's not right.
That's the Queen of Egypt. Yeah. Nefertiti.
Oh, that is. Oh God, that's the mummy. Okay. What's her name then? I don't remember. I forgot, bro. I genuinely forgot.
That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Disney is what I'm not talking about it right now. Disney is. Come on, I only see these movies once or twice, man.
Natiri.
Damn it. There you go.
Damn it.
There you go. This is the Disney approach to social consciousness. Let's mention it, but let's not dive into it. And that's essentially what happened. But I also think, and I know some people get mad when I say this, but I think this is what happens when you have a white filmmaker. You need to have somebody who's got a little more understanding. It's not a negative. Like I said, I'm not denigrating. I'm saying you've got to bring in people of color so they can give you a little more nuance, a little complexity to the story you're trying to tell when it comes to colonizer versus colonized people. I think it's important.
I think that's interesting for sure. I think that's one of the rare things, just because like there's no way that you couldn't still have like a white person tell that story, because you're dealing with the idea of just having hate across the idea of two different cultures and races. So it's not necessarily that per se, but what I don't like is don't start heavy conversations you're not ready to finish. That's what I have a problem with.
Right. Yeah, you got a filmmaker who wants to dive. Like to me, in my opinion, what Paul Thomas Anderson, a white filmmaker, did with One Battle After Another, there's some lot of things explored about what it's like to have a mixed race child, what it's like to have different political philosophies banging into each other, the black and white experience, the Latino experience. Like, I think he did a good job with that in the movie. So yeah. Coheed says Coheed 2000. It's a great show today, guys. Favorite comic book artists? Ooh, Alex Ross, Bill Sienkiewicz is one of my favorites personally.
I know more writers than artists, unfortunately, and I was obviously going to say Mark Andreyko. Boy, that's my boy.
Congratulations, Mark, on the Netflix deal. You've got moving on up, son. You got to move it on up.
Side. Finally got a piece of the pie.
That's right. I like Eric Larson as a artist as well, and Mignola as well. So the Shea Markel, Winston, I know you saw The Last Dragon for the first time last year. I've got a fun fact for you. Hopefully you've seen the rundown with The Rock.
Time ago.
The young Asian child that was kicking butt in The Last Dragon, Ernie Reyes Jr., he grows up and is cast in the rundown. He's the guy that puts a beat down on The Rock in the jungle fight scene.
Oh, okay. I only really know Ernie Reyes Jr. I mean, he's obviously a big stunt choreographer and all that kind of stuff, and fight choreographer. I know him as Kino from Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. That is where I best know Ernie Reyes Jr. personally. But he's been in a lot of stuff. He's also Surf Ninjas. I know him from that. You know, a lot of stuff. So
a lot of career, since 1985, working. One of his last credits, he's even in a few episodes of Superstore. So that's how he was in Crystal Skull. So absolutely. Rush Hour 2. Yeah, Aaron Reyes is the man. Coheed says, great show. Oh, we already saw that about that. Edmund Jivar says, two legends that bring me joy every time I listen. Oh, thanks, Ed. That's very kind. Thank you, Ed. Legends, Winston. Legends. Yeah. What? What are you saying? I can't understand. Get it on the phone. Oh my God. Let go of the phone. Oh man, that scene. That fucking scene, dog. Greatest acting scene. That's the greatest acting scene in the last 30 years.
He should have won the Oscar for that.
100%.
Look, Matthew McConaughey did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
No, dude. Leo, in my opinion, won that Oscar. I
Uh,
will
uh,
say that till I die.
Are we talking about Leo's performance or McConaughey's performance in 2026? We're talking about Leo's performance. Like, no offense to McConaughey, but Leo's
That scene
performance in
alone.
that film.
That scene alone.
100%.
Like you want 5 to 10 minutes of pure. If he had done nothing else in that movie, we were talking about it earlier. That would be the type of thing that would have instantly been like, nope, there it is.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I said this after the movie. I said that scene should be taught in every acting class for the rest of time. And until you can do that scene effectively, you should never be allowed to graduate.
And
That's
yes,
my
someone
opinion.
asked, "Oh, is that Wolf of Wall Street?" Yes, that
Yes,
was Wolf of Wall Street.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. Lori and Arwen says some support. Love John and Winston together. Thank you, Lori. Very kind of you. Thank you. Love that picture too.
You.
Love the simple smile in that picture. Thank you, Lori. Let's see here. And thank you for the very kind donation. Shay Markel says Ernie Reyes Jr. also played in 2 of the Ninja Turtle movies, as Winston said. He was in the stunt. He was a stunt double for Donatello, and then he played Kino in another. There you go.
Absolutely. Great.
Jared J 8846. Winston, you're telling me you didn't love 2009's Dragon Ball Evolution? Oh, you got a remote control on your shit. Nice. You need to get remote control on my Sony. That's nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's like a bad shot from a bad martial arts movie in the 70s. Dun, dun, dun.
Or the Californians.
Yeah, the Californians.
Dude, what are you doing? Oh, maybe they thought I was doing the Californians. What are you doing here?
You take the 101. B-Gill Studio says, go Bears, bear down at Chicago. Absolutely.
Dub prayers. I'm saying that the whole time. That's just going to be, it's not Dub Bears anymore. It's Dub prayers.
I mean, they could really go to the Super Bowl. They could absolutely take out the 49ers or the Seahawks.
And, I could also become a millionaire if I win the lotto.
Hey, that's true. Eric Kirby said, should the Eagles fire Nick Sirianni? He's not a good leader of men, in my opinion. And Jalen Hurts played like crap. He's also not a leader of men. He's not varsity material, is what you're saying.
No, because he got you to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. I think what the issue is, clearly whenever Sirianni hires the OC, it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So stop letting him hire the OC. Let Howie handle that. I mean, no, you know what? I take it back. Let him keep hiring the OC. I actually like that. I like that he does that.
As a Cowboys fan.
Do that. Yeah, no. As a Cowboys fan, do that.
do that. Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw the talk is the people in the Eagles camp have finally started to let slip. They've been kind of keeping it hush hush.
Yeah.
Most of the reason why the play calls have been so simple for the Eagles is that Jalen can't handle the more complicated stuff. And it's slowly been coming out that it's truly because Jalen can only handle certain things. And so they've been kind of hamstringing it unless you have a brilliant OC that knows how to keep it simple, but make it complex to defenses. So.
Well, I'm going to wait because, I mean, you
saw that last drive, right? They ran the same exact route over and over.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing Madden.
I know.
You can't do that.
So, one of two things is going wrong here. You're right. Either one, it's Jalen can't handle more complex offenses, which it would break my heart to see. Or two, but I think that's not true because Kellen Moore has done an excellent job with the Saints in the last few games, like constructing a very interesting, intricate offense for Tyler Shuff. So I think it's more a matter that it's the offensive coordinator who's not imaginative enough to call some great plays. And I wonder if they're throwing Jalen under the bus because of that old trope of like black quarterbacks aren't smart enough. I would hate to think that that's what's going on here. I'm not discounting either side. I'm just saying I would hate to.
No, I feel you, but it's one of those things where he kind of is. The fact that AJ Brown has all but said the words.
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying? This is not a scenario of just like where people or whatever. There's been enough there where it's been like, why are you do like the last couple of things again? Like it was Madden. They ran 4 verts.
Yeah,
running 4 verts, bro, unless it's a Hail Mary.
Or Orlovsky said that. He's like, it seems like they just drawed up plays on Madden and thought it would work in a game.
That's for my dumb ass, because I don't understand football like plays like to that nth degree.
Yeah. Blazing Kid Test. What's up, Blazing? Look at that pose. Blazing like, sup, y'all. What's up, y'all? Sydney Sweeney for Power Girl. And yes, Winston, I do want to see her in the boob window outfit.
Who doesn't want to see the boob window outfit?
I mean, come on. But I wouldn't mind seeing Christina Hendricks in it either, since PG is supposed to be, Power Girl is supposed to be the older, mature version of Supergirl.
I would prefer Christina Hendricks over Sydney Sweeney in that regard.
Well, people will go see the Sydney Sweeney one. People won't go see the Christina Hendricks one. No offense to Christina Hendricks, but
I won't go see Christina Hendricks. Why?
In a movie theater? Yeah, she's not going to sell. Sydney Sweeney's going to get butts and seats, not Christina.
Power Girl as a movie by itself ain't happening. I don't see that. I don't know. I don't know if Power Girl is enough of a.
If he wants to tell that Superman saga, and if you put Sydney Sweeney in it, bro, with that outfit, if they go with the boob showing outfit, good night. I think they would absolutely make that movie.
Well, I will tell you this: you tell me that Christina Hendricks will return as Supergirl, as Power Girl, I will be there all day, every day.
There you go.
I will see that movie 100 times in theaters on the IMAX 3D,
70 millimeters,
IMAX 3D for that. That'll make $2 billion. I'm gonna tell you that, but that'll make $2 billion.
A motorboat, you motorboat, son of a bitch. Brody Bruce 707 says, I agree on your podcast award take. I don't listen to any of the ones nominated. I started with Kevin Smith and Michael Rosenbaum and got on with Christian and you guys during the Showdown. Oh yeah, Michael Rosenbaum's podcast is great. I think he's got a great podcast. There's very few podcasts I envy because I think I do a decent job hosting shows. But Michael Rosenbaum's is one I definitely envy because that is such a comfortable, cozy environment. It's got tall walls, you got the big posters in there, and people really do kind of open up to him and reveal stuff to him in comfortable, and he gets some really great answers from the people who come on as guests. So I definitely envy that podcast. I think he's very cool in what he does. And even having Allison Mack on there, which I was not a fan of him doing, I got something out of that conversation I didn't anticipate. So yeah, Rosenbaum is really good at what he does. Gregory Dopp True says justice for Winston, support for Roca and 09. I don't. What does that mean, bro? Can you?
09. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
09. 09. 09. And 09. I don't know. I'm trying to say it like faster and see if it like comes. It's like a word, but I can't figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah. Keela Iris Garcia says support for the fellas. Thank you, Keela. Appreciate it madly. All right, that's our last one, man. We only got to 49. I was hoping we get to. Oh wait, here we go. Red Boy 2277 says, "Hey guys, big fan. I think Sinners was snubbed at the Golden Globes." Okay. Yeah. People feel that.
Oh, sure. DBZ 2009.
Oh,
yes. No, the only thing about that was so wild too. I was studying abroad in Japan at the time, so I saw it in Japan. So literally being in a theater full of Japanese people, just being like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" Like, oh man,
yeah. All right, there you go. That's all our super chats. Thank you all so much for joining us here. We were hoping to get to 60. We got to 50. We're hoping to get to 100. We got to 50. What can you do? We do what we can. But thank you very much for everybody who joined us and watched the show and sent super chats in. We appreciate you. Thanks for the lively chat, whether you agreed with us, disagreed with us, or were on the fence about things we were saying. We appreciate you all coming in. Winston, please let people know where they can find you. Another great show, my man, and see your stuff. Take it away.
You can find me at the Swaggy Blood on all platforms, especially here on YouTube. I am, when we get out of here, let me check my calendar super quickly because I got to see what time work starts. Ooh, work starts in an hour. Okay, so I am working very diligently. I started recording my top 10 of 2025, and then I was like, this is forcing me to leave a lot of stuff out. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do a top 20. And then when I did that, I was like, ooh, but there's some mid movies too. So then it was the top 30. And then I was like, but what about all the bad movies? So then there's also a bottom 10. So you're going to get a lot of me talking about roughly about 40 different movies here coming out over the course of the next days, weeks. We'll see how I schedule that out. So check that out. Spill the Tequila tomorrow with John, again, 4 p.m. Pacific time, though. Keep an eye on Twitter and stuff like that. We'll let you know if we need to shift times. Wednesday, Blurs in the Hood, myself and Jay Washington, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We've really done a little bit of tweaking and stuff like that to the show, which I've fell in love with. So I'm excited about that kind of stuff too. Fridays, right back here with Kristian and Chris as we do Capes and Cows. And then once Kristian is done shooting his pilot stuff, I'll be doing more reactions with him. But yeah, check out my channel. I got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out this year, and I'm pretty excited about.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Winston. Love you madly. We'll see you soon, brother, man. As for me, you can catch me at The Roca Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media channels. That's where I'm at. Even Blue Sky, you can roam around and find me there as well. But as Winston said, we are excited to come back with Spill the Tequila tomorrow with another show. Some of the NFL talk we hinted at here, we will get diving in deep into some of that stuff as well, some of the comic book stuff as well that we're going to get into in Spill the Tequila. So join us at 4 p.m. PT for that as well. I got a Geek Buddies episode coming out later tonight. Yo, what's going on?
Real quick, we missed one super chat.
Okay.
Dr. Gravity asked us about this one.
Okay.
Great seeing you guys as always, Sir Rogan, Sir Winston. What was y'all's behind the scenes rituals to get ready for every Schmodown match?
Ooh.
I'll let you go first. Yeah.
Okay. Behind the scenes rituals to get ready before the match was always like putting on meditation music or putting on scores. Like I used to listen to the Braveheart score all the time, or the Last of the Mohicans score all the time. So when you see pictures of me with the headphones on, I'm like doing a meditation stance or whatever, I'm getting into that place that I need to get into to go to war. And so that's how I would get into that kind of mindset. Did it always work? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. That was my preparation. And then if Lindley was there, making sure where she was in the audience so I could look to her for a little bit of calming influence if I needed it in certain sense. But that was basically how I prep for stuff. And I tried to get a good night's sleep before the night before because of, you need to be on top of your game to play that game.
Shit talk. A lot of shit talk. That was my main thing. Hype. If we were doing a bit, practicing the bit, like being Amaru's uncle, Bongani.
Oh yeah.
Which the funny thing is, for those that don't know, the name Bongani actually came from my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is South African. And so I was like, I'm just going to use his name and whatever, screw it for that. But it would just depend on what I was there to do. If I was there to play, then, I probably am listening to some pop-up song. If I was there to manage, then I was just preparing to put on a good show one way or the other. So just depends on what we were doing that particular day. So
yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I will leave now.
Thank you, Winston. Corn Emperor wants to know our topics for Spill the Tequila. We will let you know that on social media. As Winston said, watch on that. We will announce it as well. All right. Well, thanks everybody so much. Don't forget, Kristian Harloff's out of theater reaction for 20 Years Bone Temple is going to come out later on this channel. I will also have a reaction, but this is Kristian's channel, so let's focus on his reaction. Make sure you watch that later on. And for my brother Winston A. Marshall, I am John Roca. Thanks to Luke over there for helping us out today. And of course, Kristian, who's on the plane, for letting us host for today. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Kristian Harloff Show. Peace and have yourself a great week, everybody.